Jagrative. To the yogi, there are only a handful of choices of what seat one can take within themselves and live a meaningful life. A normal person is asleep and completely overwhelmed by the energy changes that happen within them. Wherever the energy rushes, so they go. They may, due to pain or pleasure experiences of the past, find themselves either trying to encourage or go stronger with energies, or attempting to resist, to try to somehow temper these energies inside. But usually, when it's all said and done, the energies win, and people end up going or not going in accordance to the energy flows that are going on inside of them. When the soul is sleeping, it's kind of like if it's hard enough to keep your head above the water in a storm. If you're asleep, you don't stand much chance. You get thrown around by the waves. So the energies inside are very, very strong. They're not mystical at all. They're experiential. You feel anger come rushing up inside. You feel fear. You feel anxiety. You feel tremendous love. You feel attraction. You feel repulsion. All of these are energy changes that are happening within the energy system. If the soul is not awake, then these energies do their thing. And you end up expressing in accordance to the movements of the energies. And you end up repelling in accordance to the movements of the energies. One might ask, is there anything wrong with this? And the answer, of course, is, of course not. There is nothing right or wrong with anything. There is nothing wrong with drinking kerosene. There is nothing wrong with chewing on stones. It doesn't lead to good health, but it's not wrong. It is the same thing with the energies inside of you. They are not wrong. They are part of creation as it exists in this moment. They are like the storms and the rain. They are like the fact that one bush grows higher than another. They are part of the nature of things. However, you will find, if you are even a little conscious, that if you just go with these energies, that they will create in accordance to their own kind. If anger shoots up inside of you, and you are not conscious and willfully centered, the anger will come out of you. It is not wrong, but if you are wise and conscious and aware, you will see that what you are dumping out into your environment is polluting your environment. And if you are dumping anger upon people, you might notice it affects their behavior towards you. You might notice it affects your entire relationship with these people. So what you dump, I don't want to say comes back, because that sounds so mystical, like karma. I'm not interested in that. That's like saying if you dump toxic waste into the ocean, it comes back. Yeah, it comes back. All of the effects of doing so end up in the future polluting you. You polluted it, it pollutes you. That's how karma works. It doesn't have to be some mystical thing. It's just the natural nature of things. If you dump anger, if you dump fear out onto your environment, you will affect your environment with those vibrations. Unless you are living with a saint, with a great soul, what you dump out will affect that being and will affect the vibrations of what's around you. And therefore, when you walk back into that environment, you will be getting back the result of what you put out. Therefore, it is not wrong, but it is like drinking kerosene and chewing on stones. It does not lead to long-term health. So to sit there and say, what if you just let these energies do their thing? It is obvious what will happen. What about love? Love we think of as some beautifully positive energy. You think so? What if you feel tremendous love for somebody and you dump that out? I use the same words purposely. You dump that out into your environment. What's going to happen if you dump all of this love onto somebody is they're going to probably be attracted towards you, and they're going to want to be around you more, and they're going to want to enter into a more serious relationship. Okay, well, what's wrong with this? Nothing. What happens if when this is going on with one person, you turn the corner and the energy shoots up about somebody else? Well, obviously, we're in the mode of checking out what happens if you just let them do their thing. So, you turn the corner and start dumping your love onto someone else. That's good, as long as the first person doesn't turn the corner with you. Now what happens when you turn the corner again? You're just a love bug. All this energy starts rushing up inside of you. You feel all this love. What does it want to do? You know what it wants to do. It wants to touch, doesn't it? It's its tendency. It's like anger wants to express, love wants to express. It doesn't like to just sit in there, does it? All these energies are coming up and attempting to express through you. If you let them, they will. Even in the love situation, it's going to make a mess in it. This is how karma works. This is how cause and effect works. There is nothing wrong with anything. But if you just let it run its course, it over time will create mirrors around you that will cause it to come back and change the energy flow that caused it to happen to start with. That's how the cycles work. If you have a lot of anger, eventually either someone bigger than you will get angrier than you are and beat the heck out of you, or you will end up in jail, or all of your friends will end up leaving you, or your loved one will leave you. Something's going to happen because you are dumping this anger out there. When that happens, it's not wrong. And what happens is not wrong. It is the natural result of polluting your environment with anger. When it takes place, it will invariably cause pain inside of you. It will cause disturbances. It will cause all sorts of problems in your energy flow. Those problems are not wrong. They will, over time, cause you to change. They are like sandpaper, like chisels, like dynamite. That whereas before all this energy wanted to do this, now it don't want to do it so much anymore. Somehow when you get beat up and are lying in the hospital room, the next time the anger tries to come out and just do its thing, something inside, what's something? The impression of this event left a strong enough samskara or impression upon you to where you think twice, i.e., you attempt to work with the energy instead of just letting it do its thing. So I don't have to define it as wrong, do I? These laws of cause and effect are teachers, but they are not really good teachers. They're very, very slow. If you try to run that course of letting every energy do its own thing, you're going to be around a long time in order to work through all these energies. That is what Yogananda used to call the walking path. That is the path of natural evolution. You are living in a system of cause and effect, and it's going to have its effect on you. And that effect will be to awaken you. That effect will be ultimately to cause you to be aware of these energies inside before they express themselves through you. So that's one state. That is not yoga. That is sleep. But it will have its effect on you. When you awaken enough to have caught on that these energies are not meant to just do their own thing. You are in there. You are conscious. You have will. You have the ability to do something with these energies. You are not helpless. You do something with them all the time. There's very few of you that just let every energy that comes up go out. Okay? So basically, you begin to work with them. The first thing that people normally do, if they're even a little awake, is you begin to become discriminative about which energies you go with and you don't. But your discrimination is going to be based upon pain and pleasure. So you're going to sit there and say, when I go with this energy, it's good. It leads good. I like where it goes. You're choosing. When I go with this one, it causes a lot of trouble. Or if I don't go with this one, or whatever the heck it is. And you come up with this value system, which you make up yourself, and that becomes your self-concept. That becomes your views, your opinions, your hopes, your dreams, your value system. Everything is based upon, I want these energies to happen because I think they'll lead to long-term good stuff. And I want these not to happen because they're going to cause serious problems. All right? This is sort of quasi-awake. You're awake enough to choose pain from pleasure and pleasure from pain. And you begin then to attempt to manipulate the world around you to fit what you think you want so that you can control these energies. That is a long lifetime. That's what I'll call, instead of a sleeping human being, a normal human being. And they spend their whole life attempting to manipulate people, places, and things so that these energies which they're attempting to come into control of are easier to work with. If you treat me a certain way, it's easier for me to live with myself. If you stay away from me, I feel much better about things. If you stay really close to me, I feel really good. So I'm attempting to manipulate everything around me so that I can keep these energies in a somewhat stable state. That is higher than being asleep. That is higher than just letting every energy come up and do its thing. All right? But it is still completely ego-oriented. And it is still manipulative and controlful of the energies. Then you awaken to the next state. Why? Because you find out that attempting to control other people's behavior is long and heavy, and it doesn't work. And you have to worry all the time, and you have to think all the time, and you have to plot and manipulate and control and stay on top of everything in order to keep the energies the way you want them. That's where all neurotic behavior comes from, is attempting to know what other people are thinking, attempting to know what other people are feeling, attempting to choose how you want things to be, and then do everything you can to try to make them that way. And then you not only have to hold yourself together, you have to hold everything in a fixed state. And what happens if it looks like it's changing? You get scared to death. You freak. What happens if it does change? Now you really freak. What happens if what you want isn't happening? You get scared. It's all fear-oriented is what it creates. When you awaken, now the next step is the beginning of spirituality, though it's not very spiritual. Is you awaken, and that's when you start to renounce the world. You start to figure, I don't want it anyways. That's that stage. It's not worth it. It's all painful. I want to be all right with myself. That's how you start to think. I want to be all right with my own energies, not have to be dependent upon everybody and everything else in order for me to be all right. I don't want to be afraid anymore. I don't want to care what people think of me anymore. I don't want to have to care or worry about what I wear. I want out of this mess. Which mess? The one you created for yourself because you couldn't handle the energies, so you attempted to control everything else so that you wouldn't have to. In that stage of awakening, the most normal thing that a being does is suppress. It is inevitable, so you might as well learn about it. What you then see, even though you don't voice it, is that the energies are the problem. It isn't that she was a problem or he was a problem and this is a problem. The problem is these energies are causing me a lot of trouble. I can't sleep at night. I can't be happy being alone. I can't walk through the woods without having stuff go on inside of me. And so you notice that your problem is you. And your tendency is to push it away. And that tendency will stay with you a very long time on this path. These energies are bubbling up from underneath. You attempt to keep them down. If one starts to come up that you know causes you trouble, what do? It's like badminton. Bam! You kind of knock it out of the way a little bit. Another one comes up that you like. You attempt to cling to it. So inside, now you're not doing it outside, you're doing the manipulation inside. And the majority of it leads to suppression of the energies. And you end up sitting on top of a volcano. What volcano? The volcano that would be erupting if you just let all these energies come out. The volcano that wouldn't be erupting but would be channeled if you could keep everything outside the way you wanted it so that they could flow the way you want them to. You see that control? All right? Now you've turned to spirituality and you're suppressing all these energies and claiming I'm doing fine. Nothing bothers me anymore. I can stand in the presence of anything. Anybody can talk any way they want. It starts to bother you, but you've learned that you can do this. Push, 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 push. And usually the pushing is down. You ever feel it? Ever see it start to go up and go like that? You're sitting in there, you go like this. And you feel if you can do this in there, then I'm being the witness and I'm doing fine. Because I'm not freaking out like I used to. And the reason you're not freaking out is because freak out happens when the energy comes very close. If outside someone you don't like starts to walk towards you, and you shoot an arrow at them and narrowly miss, they go the other way. Well, you didn't freak out. They didn't come close enough. But if they kept coming, you'd freak out. It's the same thing inside. If you can keep these energies far away from your being, from yourself, from the close inner consciousness, then they are not threatening to you. They're still under your control, and you feel better about them. And this becomes the modus operandum of spirituality for most people, is one of control of the Shakti from the inside. Unfortunately, over time, you will find that that doesn't work either. You will start to get dry. You hear me? You start to get dry. You won't have all kinds of problems with passions and angers and fears, but nor will you feel spontaneous love and joy and excitement and enthusiasm and spontaneity for things around you. Why? Because you are suppressing your energies. That's how renunciates end up. Because they are pushing the energies away. Why would you renounce anything? I want the list of what things you're going to renounce. Because I guarantee you they will be the things that cause disturbances in your energy. Why else would you renounce them? You're going to renounce that the sun comes up? You're going to renounce the sun goes down? You're going to renounce that your neighbor has a child? No, you're not going to renounce any of the things that don't disturb your energy. You're only going to renounce the things that cause your energy to come up, that you want to be strong enough to push them away. If you're not having trouble with your energy, there is no renunciation. If you're not attempting to suppress your energies, there is no renunciation. It is not that path. That is not deep enough. That is too shallow. It is much too shallow to just let it all happen. It is also too shallow to control everything around you so that it's the way you want it, so you don't have to deal with yourself. And it is also too shallow to take these energies and push them out of the way and lock them up and claim that now you have grown spiritually because you can keep your center. Because you will be scared deep inside that someday someone or something will happen and these energies will be stronger than you, and you better be scared because it's true. If you play that game of attempting to push these energies away, the universe will make sure that something will upset your apple cart. Because there will always be an energy that is stronger than your ability to suppress. Because suppression is not the path. So what is? There is only one other alternative to do with these energies. If you're not going to let them just go through and take over, if you're not going to control everything around you so that in essence you have remote control over whether they come up or not, and if you're not going to suppress them inside of you, what are you going to do? You're going to do the only thing that works. Attain a center that is deep enough and strong enough to let these energies come up, but not out. To let these energies, when they need to, well up inside of you, but maintain enough center to where you're willing to let them pass through you. That is the state of witness consciousness. When these energies come up, they are on their journey through the universe. All energies you feel inside of you are Shakti. Where do those energies come from? Where does fear come from? Whoever went to the source and saw the energy come up. Where does love come from? Where do these things come from? Because they are actually coming from somewhere, aren't they? You feel them come up in there, don't you? Where are they coming from? Until you are willing to sit in the face of them and realize they cannot touch you. They are just passing through you. They are just an experience. They are not a reality any more than anything else. They are just an experience of inner movement of Shakti. When you are able to do that, the energies will do something very great. They will clear a passage within you, a channel, through the dynamite of these energies coming up. It doesn't require these karmic situations of external things. It is all going on inside of you. The yogi's entire path is inside. And the path is these energies. They will teach you everything. They will put you through everything you must go through. They can never waste one minuscule moment of your time. Because by definition, the fact that they're happening is the fact that they're there, and is the fact that you need to consciously be aware and experience them. And they will come up, and you will feel like you couldn't possibly just let this happen. But you can. You can breathe through it. You can relax through it. You can bother to maintain your center of consciousness with any energy that is coming up inside of you. And eventually you will find that not only do they come up, but if you're not touching them, they don't even veer left or right. They come right before your face. They just come right up and they well right over you in a straight shot. That's one way you will know whether you're doing it. Because you can feel them veer, can't you? You can feel when you go like that. You can feel that. They don't have to do that. When you are willing to sit, and this means every moment of your whole life, be conscious when they move. Invite them up. Relax. They will come up. At first, like I said, it seems untenable to let this go on inside of you. But you will see there is no option. Anything you do with it is much more untenable in the long run than just letting it be what it is. And it will clear the channel. And in a short period of time, you will start to find that the energies that used to cause trouble, when you let them come up, I mean all of them, be it fear, be it jealousy, be it anxiety, any of them, be it self-consciousness, thinking that other people are judging you, all of these are energies. Before they hit the mind, they're energies. When they hit the mind, they're noise. When the mind's actually going, blah, 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 blah. But what's making the mind do that is this well-up of energies. You know what it feels like to be self-conscious? You don't have to think about it. It's like kind of there. And jealousy, you don't have to be going, what'll I do? That's what you're going to do about jealousy. What does jealousy feel like? Any of them. They are energies. They are Shakti. They are something very great inside of you. They are your life force. They are just misguided because they're blocked. If you will let them come and pass, they will clear their own blockages. And any one of them that can come up in you, if you will fall behind them and relax through them, will turn into ecstasy. And I mean absolute ecstasy. That which you start feeling coming up is fear and insecurity. Just right there. Okay? Relax. It will shoot up through you and your heart will become filled with love and you will feel waves of ecstasy because they are ecstasy. All energy is ecstasy. It is just that it's hitting blockages, which is causing it to get blocked and distorted and disturbed. If you will let it run its course, it will purify itself. And you will become something very great very quickly. That is how you handle every situation. It is all handled within you. There is nothing to change outside. There is no one you have to convince anything of. There is nothing to do besides liberate yourself from yourself. Ultimately, what you're afraid of is you You're afraid of feeling these energies. You're afraid of experiencing the darkness and the different things that can come up when these blockages are getting hit. Stop being afraid. It's a great journey. What would you rather do? Live in some locked house with some locked person in a locked situation and nothing changes and you're dead, but nothing's going to go wrong? It's so boring. I mean, you're such exciting, vibrant people. It's like this is more exciting than climbing the Alps. This is more exciting than diving into caves deep in the unknown. It's plenty unknown, isn't it? It just keeps on going. It keeps coming. It's with you I can't understand how people have to carry these little games, to play, to keep themselves entertained. You have the greatest game of all going on inside of you. Every moment there's something new. It's like popcorn. And if you remain conscious and you really want to play this game, you really want to know what would happen if you let every single energy pass through you and you let it change you. What would it be like on the other side of that mountain? That's where Christ went. That's where Ramakrishna went with every move of every energy. That is your state. That is inside of you. It is on the other side of these disturbed energies. And there is only one way out, and that is surrender. There is no other way out. You touch those energies, you own them. Anything you do because of those energies becomes ingrained in your lifestyle. It becomes your personality, it becomes your way of dealing with things, it becomes how you talk to people, it becomes who you like, it becomes who you don't like. Do you see that? All of it are behavior and thought patterns attempting to get these energies together. The yogi doesn't have it together. The yogi lets it go. And there's a big difference. If you have it together, you could still lose it. If you're in there letting go, nothing can touch you. And you're just constantly going through this beautiful experience of growth and evolution. So this is yoga, and the truth is, this is what was taught by every great master. This is what's written in the Gita. You're just there. And whatever must take place, takes place. Outside and in. It's fine if you're willing to let it happen. And it ain't fine if you're not. So you create either heaven or hell for yourself. And it's up to you. And if you're willing to go through it, you will receive the help of all the forces of creation. And if you're not willing to go through it, then you must go back to the first level of these karmic situations, where the energy you put out comes back and you have to burn through it. But you don't have to. You don't have to. No matter what situation you're in, no matter where, no matter what, you start doing what we're talking about and it's over. Just right where you are. You just say, okay, I will experience these energies. And stop complaining. Stop grabbing, stop pushing, stop worrying. Just enjoy the heat. Enjoy the process of purification that goes on when you keep your hands to yourself inside. Jagradev.